Welcome to Claudia Explores. Today I will be talking about episode 1 of Tom Jones. Tom Jones is an abandoned child who gains the good fortune of being adopted by a wealthy man who is loved and well respected by his community and by the people who maintain his estate. And his name is Squire John Allworthy, and he also serves as a magistrate of his community. Now, Tom Jones proves to be a very lovable, down-to-earth, compassionate, and charming boy and man. He is a bit naive, and he can be self-sabotaging, and he's a little bit ditzy. But that's okay because he's handsome and he has good intentions and he has a good heart. Now, his true love interest in this series is Sophia Western. She's a beautiful woman. She has this curly hair and this dark brown skin, and she has a sweet temperament. And she and him, they kind of share a similar spirit. They are very loving, and they're always going for what is merciful and what is right. So in a previous video, I did mention that I didn't want to see Sophia rescuing Tom, but this rescuing that she did for him, it happened when they were children, and really it's the opening of them being introduced to each other and forming this friendship that continues on until adulthood. So I'm okay with that. I don't know if it really was a situation where he was going to be destroyed, or found hanging from the gallows, because you'll have to watch the episode, but it's kind of a joke being played, really, I do believe, but them being children, they took it seriously. Okay, so there's Sophia. I mentioned she's this sweet-tempered woman, and she stands up for what's right. She has these beautiful gowns. She's dressed so beautifully, and it just matches her beauty. And she's always treated like a lady because she is a lady. And her grandfather really is her protector, and she really has his heart. So that, she's able to sway him to doing things that he wouldn't really give allowance to, but because he loves her, he does it. So I just love that dynamic between them. I really believe that every woman should have that in her life, and I'm happy to see that she does have that. Now, my favorite line in this movie or this episode is, "Oh my Lord, never in my life I had to look at a gentleman without his breeches." I thought that was hilarious because that's the maid of Squire Allworthy, and she's this old, almost frail looking lady, but she's not really frail, but it's hilarious. That's my favorite line out of that episode. Now, my favorite scene from this episode is when Sophia is giving Tom a lesson on how to dance. It's a romantic one. They are touching hands and sharing giggles and smiles. And at 2 points, the chemistry is just building between the two of them. And it's building so much that Tom tries to kiss her. Sophia pulls away and runs off giggling. It's cute. I love it. It's pure and innocent, and I just love it. You really do feel the attraction between them, so that you're not just left like, oh, that was lacking in feeling, but you can feel the attraction that they have for each other. But at the same time, it's tasteful, and there's this physical intimacy that doesn't go between the sheets. It goes somewhere where it's between the mind and spirit, and it's cooking up a deeper and meaningful more meaningful existence that could lead to something more lasting and true. So this is a stark contrast for Tom, because he usually has he had this shallow situationship with the girl previously. And I think with Sophia, he is learning what is a true lady and what is true love with a woman. So that I found to be very refreshing. And now, this episode, I had mentioned that I had a lot of fears. So this episode squashes quite a few of my fears that I had. So I don't see this lopsided affection between Sophia and Tom. They feel for each other pretty much the same. And sometimes I feel like he might feel more for her. But I do believe it's equal. It's definitely equal for the most part. Now, I also had this fear that Sophia's race would be invisible. But you can see that they do acknowledge her race, and that's important to me because that's who she is. That's part of who she is, and there is mention of slavery. So those two are touched upon, but those two subjects are done in a way. It's touched upon, but it's kept light because the series is supposed to be upbeat and lighthearted. So I respect that, and I am happy about that. And another thing, I am so happy that Sophia is not a strong, independent Black woman. I really dislike that personality being posed on Black women all the time because, it's just not how you should go about life, in my personal opinion. Now, if that's right for you, that's right for you. But for me, no, it's not right for me. And there's that issue of, will she be constantly saving him? Okay, so yes, she does save him in one point of this film. But it's a time where they're children, and this saving, it really opens up a friendship. This is how they're introduced to each other. I don't know if there would have been any other way of introducing them, because this way they're introduced is kind of touches on his personality and really how he finds himself in the most precarious situations, and he's kind of self-sabotaging. So it's appropriate, and again, that shows the similar spirit they have, because here she is, she's standing up for what's right, and she's asking for forgiveness and mercy, which should be granted. So all in all, this episode has met what I had expected, and it has squashed out some of my fears. So keep an eye out for my review on episode 2. Until then, be sure to watch it yourself, and don't forget to subscribe, like, comment.